The following story may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Whisperwood Stories. Today I'm going to read a story for you from, you guessed it, No Sleep. But this time it's from user Rebel Alliance Cloud. Let's begin. My dad sent me a Father's Day quiz, and I regret opening it.
Father's Day quiz. How well do you know your dad?
It was the middle of the night, Father's Day. I got a notification from my dad with a link. He was in his room downstairs, knowing that I had to study for a term exam, yet his stupid ass sent me this. Classic Dad. I love him so much. Ever since Mom died, he was my backbone. He worked 2 jobs to pay off my school fees, yet he also found time to attend my piano recitals. He even recorded my entire high school production of Beauty and the Beast because he thought I looked lovely in yellow. Deciding it wouldn't hurt too much to spend 5 minutes, I opened my phone. Happy Father's Day, I typed, loading it with some emojis.
Thanks. Did you see the quiz?
He replied. I clicked on the link. It took me to some zany HTML website that looked like it was designed by some college student on pot. It was one of those make-your-own quizzes where you can set your own questions. I remember doing this with my friends when I was in 4th grade.
Instructions. Choose what you think is the correct answer. Let's see how much you know your dad. Remember, be honest. Question 1. Is your dad afraid of blood?
There was a panel from which you could select one of 3 options. Yes, no, or maybe. The question was simple. Ever since my mom's horrifying accident, Dad freaked out at even the smallest of scratches I get. I chose yes.
Great. That's the correct answer. Question number 2. Is your dad currently naked?
I hated this about him, but he had a habit of sleeping in his undies, and sometimes fully nude. Smart question, Dad, but I'm smarter. Yes.
Great. That's the correct answer. Question number 3. Has your dad ever broken his femur?
Obviously not. No.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
What? That sucked. I was aiming for a perfect score. I hoped he probably set the wrong answer while he was making the quiz. He was, after all, a complete boomer.
Question number 4. Does your dad have 3 fingers on his right hand?
Why would he ask such a silly question? No.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
Oh my God. Boomer.
Question number 5. Has your dad ever been kidnapped?
Kidnapped? Dad told me everything about his childhood. If he had ever been kidnapped, I'd have known this story. No.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
That couldn't be a coincidence. Dad wouldn't just set 3 wrong answers by mistake. It might have been a very traumatic event for him, so he probably buried it deep and never talked about it. That was the only thing that made sense to me. Poor Dad.
Question number 6. Does your dad still have both his kidneys?
At this point, these questions were making me uncomfortable. I tried to close the window on which I had opened the quiz, but a big error message popped up on my screen.
answering all questions is mandatory.
Sighing, I returned to quickly finish it and answered the question, no.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
I felt a sour taste in my mouth.
Question number 7. Has your dad's left eye been pulled out of its socket?
Okay, what the hell? Was this Dad's idea of a prank? No.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
A chill ran down my spine. I really hoped this was a joke.
Question number 8. Is your dad writhing in pain right now?
And this was going too far now. Dad, this is not funny, I yelled from my room, but I got no response. I got off my bed. The hallway was shrouded in darkness. I felt a knot in my stomach. Dad? I called out again, but the only thing I heard was my own echo in the somber silence. I looked back at my phone. The questions stared at me with the 3 options below it, waiting to be selected.
Question 9. Is your dad writhing in pain right now?
I pressed no.
Oops, that's the wrong answer.
I froze with fear. My heart pounded in my chest as the next question appeared.
Question 10. Would you like to see him?
Dad? I tried to shout again, but all that came out was a shaky whisper. Nervous, I pressed yes. Loading. 10%. The screen slowly loaded a grainy image of what looked like a dimly lit storage room. I saw 2 naked and brutalized legs. The right one was contorted in an unnatural angle, while jutting out of the left one was a broken femur. Loading. 47%. The genital area of his body had been horrifyingly mutilated, with blood still dripping through the exposed veins and staining the carpet red. Thin tubes protruded from the sides of the body, leading to 2 crushed bean-shaped organs, and the right hand only had 3 fingers. Loading. 78%. I saw my dad's maimed face. One eye socket looked like a red abyss. Loading. 100%. And then he moved. I suddenly realized this was a live stream and not an image. Moaning in pain, my dad said, "Lily, run." But what petrified me more was a button that had emerged below the video saying,
Next quiz. How well do you know yourself?
Thank you for listening to Whisperwood Stories. If you enjoyed, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Do you have a story that you'd like me to read here? Consider commenting or sending it to whisperwoodsubmissions@gmail.com. The story in this video was read with the author's permission. Thank you again for listening, and be sure to check out the original Reddit post. Want to support me? Check the link below where you can leave a tip if you wish. And remember, don't let the shadows get too close. Good night.